don't understand how we as a people historically put so much faith into this thing called God, but yet for 400 years we were in chains. For 400 years we prayed. For 400 years, black people have a saying in church where we go, the pastor comes out and he goes, God is good, ain't he? And we say all the time. All the time.
God is good.
All the time. 400 years, all the time. The 60s, all the time. The 4 black girls in the church in Alabama, all the time. The 9 black people in church, praising God. You would think if the one place you are safe, a safety zone, is in his house, and if God and the angels can't protect you in his house all the time.
You know, the sad part about it is that black people in general, will come onto this video and they will have excuses. Their excuses will be that man doesn't understand the will of God. How can the carnal mind understand the supernatural mind, the spiritual mind of God? That there will be so many excuses that people will come and try to utilize. Oh, well, those weren't real Christians. Those were people acting in as the devil had tricked them into using the Bible to justify their slavery, but by using Leviticus 25, by using the different parts of the Bible that tells you how to disrespect a woman. You see, let me get settled here. There's going to be many people who are going to make excuses for why the person was SA'd. The little girl was living in a house with the stepfather or father who was SA'ing her until she escaped that house when she was 18, 19, 20, 30 years old, when she finally gained her escape, while the woman who was being abused by her husband, why she was able to finally escape that, is so that she can have a testimony to help other people in the struggle. So she can have a testimony about how good God is. God was so good that he had to put her through something that is going to damage her psyche for the rest of her life. That's going to make it difficult, if ever possible, for her to be able to have any kind of gratifying relationship with another person. That God had to put her through that season so that she can have a testimony about how God brought her out of it, instead of God just saving her from it. I'd rather hear a testimony about how a father was trying to essay a girl, or a man trying to essay a girl, but then right before it happened, the doors opened and somebody saved her. That part, that would be the story. Or how God showed up in 1619, and when they was trying to put those first slaves on the boat out of Africa to come to the Americas, it was stopped. To come to North America, it was stopped. Or how in 1547, when they first went down into the Canary Islands to take those first African slaves to bring them back up to Europe, and then start shipping them over to South America, how that was stopped. How the disease that ravaged the Americas was stopped. How the Crusaders who went into the Levant was stopped. I want to hear that's the testimony. Not the testimony of we made it through 400 years of slavery and Jim Crow. We made it through for women, we've made it through 8,000 years of male patriarchy. Made it through 8,000 years of men controlling who we marry. 8,000 years of men controlling who we give our bodies to. 8,000 years of men only valuing us based on whether or not we can give them a son. 8,000 years have women suffered under men owning them as property, and some are still suffering through it today, and they're supposed to suffer through it, and that's the glory of your God? So if you're a woman in India, what God is saving you through it? Is it Allah or is it Brahma? What God are you giving that glory to? Because it's in India, it's not the Christian God. Nope. For those Africans who survived the trans-Sahara slave trade and are now free from the slave trade. You're living in a predominantly Muslim country now. Was it the God of Christianity that ended the trans-Sahara slave trade? The one that lasted for over 1,200 years? Was it that God? Or do you give credit to Allah for your freedom, for ending your captivity? The women today who are fighting against the patriarchal system of Islam, are they going to give credit to the Christian God? Or are they going to give credit to the Muslim God? How about you give credit to yourself? How about you give credit to your ancestors? How about you give credit to those who were within the oppressive group that helped free you from the oppression? How about the men who walked and fought for women's rights? How about the men who were fighting for the ending of slavery, the women who fought for the ending of slavery? How about they get the credit? Those who were within slavery, who fought against it, who rebelled against it, who ran away, who built the Underground Railroad, who sunk ships and burnt houses. How about we give the credit to them and to the ones that come and they see the essayists and they stop it. They see it happening across the street. There's something wrong happening across the street. Now, I'm going to investigate this and I'm going to stop this. Not wait for God. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the investigators. And I'm going to stop that. The credit should be given to the person who stopped it, not your God. Because oftentimes, when I have been involved in stopping that sort of an event from happening, I didn't believe in your God. So therefore, it wasn't your God that inspired me to stop it. It was the decency of knowing that that young lady had human agency, divine agency within herself to not be violated. How about that? Tell me what you guys think. God is good. God ain't never good. Y'all have a great day. Remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.